So I recently began playing City Skylines, and I've really enjoyed the game so far. I've been playing it for about 2 months now, and it's been a lot of fun putting together my own cities and watching the Sims interact with those cities that I built. I began wanting to make my own assets for the game. Initially, I just wanted to design my own house that I live in so that I could put that into the game, but I've had so much fun with it, I've been building other structures, parks, and cars as well. To be honest, I had a difficult time finding good tutorials on how to design and build assets and import them into the game that didn't require either a deep or extensive understanding of professional level 3D editing software, or didn't really go into detail on best practices for developing an asset or details on how to use the tools. After a lot of searching, I found a tutorial by City Skylines NYC on YouTube where he begins with an easy-to-use modeling software called SketchUp, imports that model into 3ds Max, and then edits the textures in a drawing program, and finally imports that into the game. It was a really good starting point for creating simple buildings, but didn't go into great detail on how to design more complex structures. I felt I wanted to expand on his video a little by showing more of the tools available in SketchUp to create more realistic structures, and explain in better detail some of the options in 3ds Max, Photoshop, and City Skylines that I've learned while going through this whole process. You'll need 3 pieces of software in order to create your own assets for the game. First, you need SketchUp to design the asset. 3ds Max is used for unwrapping the texture around the object and exporting the model in the correct format. And then Photoshop is used to edit the texture file that you created with 3ds Max. All 3 programs come with free trials, and you can find those in the links in the description below. The process is relatively easy to create the asset, but each step can get a little involved, so I've split this tutorial into a series so it's easier to jump to a section as you're working through developing your own asset. In this series of videos, we'll be building a residential asset for City Skylines, and we'll go through these following steps. First, using Google Maps and SketchUp, we'll find a home to model using Google Maps Street View and 3D Satellite View, and then we'll create the model in SketchUp, create those textures, and apply them to the model. Then in 3ds Max, we'll import the model and textures, and we'll make adjustments to the position of the model and the textures so that they import correctly into cities. Then in Photoshop, we'll edit those texture files and create the specular and illumination map for those assets, and then finally we'll import the entire model into City Skylines. So go ahead and watch the next video in the series to get started on creating your own custom assets for City Skylines.